Hi there, my name is Jamil Dabir, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of a course called JIRA Fundamentals by Atlassian University. So let's get into the overview. In this video I'm going to discuss 6 different things. I'm going to start with just a brief discussion about Agile project management and JIRA and kind of what the software is, what this training's all about. Then I'm going to talk about why I decided to take this course. I'm going to talk a bit about the weaknesses of the course. Then I'm going to talk about the strengths of the course. I'm going to have a discussion about who I think the intended audience is for this course, and then we're going to conclude. So to start, we're going to talk about Agile and JIRA. So Agile project management is often used for software projects. That's kind of the area where it's most popular. It could be used in other applications. One that is often brought up is research. Could also be used for prototyping, kind of custom work. Any type of situation where you're not really clear what the final output of the project is going to look like, and any kind of projects where you're expecting a lot of changes throughout the project. JIRA is a piece of cloud-based software, and it's used for managing agile projects. And what it does is it distributes work items throughout the agile team members, call them like kind of issues or epics or stories, that type of thing. And you can use agile to sort of assign these work items to different people within your team, and they'll get a notification, and then they can start working, and everyone will know what they're doing. So that's sort of the purpose of JIRA as a piece of software. So why did I decide to take this course? I took this course because I've done Scrum Master and Scrum Product Owner training. And in my training, this piece of software, JIRA, was mentioned multiple times. So I figure it's a logical next step in continuing my education and professional development. And sounds like JIRA is pretty popular in the software industry. I'm a recent computer science graduate, so again, it's a pretty straightforward choice for me to take this quick little course. Before I move to the next slide, we're going to be talking about the course weaknesses, and I have quite a few weaknesses for this course. I also have quite a few strengths for this course. I think when it comes down to it, the bottom line is this is a free course. It's a short course. If you're at all curious about it, I would say just go for it and take it. If you're someone with a ton of experience already using JIRA, this is probably going to be a waste of your time. But if you're green to it, I think you would get a ton of value out of this course. So let's dive into what I thought were some of the weaknesses of the course. So the first weakness was that there was almost no audio content. When I'm studying, I kind of like the full experience. I like to have some lectures. I like to have notes to read. I like to have problems to work on. And the sort of absence of audio content for me is, it's a tad disappointing. But like I mentioned a moment ago, it's a free course, so not great to complain too much. This next point is a little strange. They used some sort of animations that you could stop them, but you couldn't like jump back and forth between the slides of the animation. So some of those were a little annoying to deal with because they'd have important instructions on them, and you could zoom in, but you'd see them playing and they were kind of zoomed out, and it didn't work 100% right on my end of things. I mean, I got through the course, it was okay, but just having a straightforward video where you could pick the spots in the video, I found would have been easier to deal with than the kind of animation system or slideshow system or whatever it was that was built into this course. Another weakness of this course, this covers some like really basic content with JIRA. Kind of mentioned that again a moment ago. You could probably just set up an account with Atlassian and start using JIRA and figure a lot of this stuff out on your own. But the course is here. It's nice to have, I think, and you get a certificate out of it. So it's an okay option, I think. But I would call that a weakness. Like it's pretty straightforward. They mentioned a sample project throughout the course several times, and they also told you to kind of follow along in your own account. I did that. I didn't know where to find the sample project, so I was basically just kind of making up my own project while I was doing the course. So it felt like it slowed me down a little bit, but also got through it okay. So that was just another one. Just having access to that sample project to follow along with would be nice. Another course weakness, it felt like a bit of an infomercial. This is kind of a necessary thing, I think, if you're getting this sort of like product training based education. They're going to pitch you on the other products that can integrate with JIRA and kind of a whole bunch of the advanced functionalities of JIRA without necessarily teaching you about them. So you get a little bit of that infomercial type feel with this course, but I think it's good to understand a range of products if you're using them. If you encounter some particular problem at work and you know, oh, hey, we can add such and such a module in and that'll solve all our problems. It's probably a good thing to know. So can't be too critical there. Last point, I'll say I was caught off guard by the final test. There was a whole bunch of pre-tests throughout the course that were pretty good, and they were really easy, really straightforward pre-tests. And I was just knocking it out of the park, memorizing all my definitions. Things were going great. And I took the final, and it was a little challenging. There were things I wasn't expecting there, and required like kind of some critical thinking skills, stuff like that. That for a straightforward 90-minute course like this, it was a little more than I was expecting for the final, but I made it through the first time. It was okay. If you happen to run into problems, I will tell you, I think you have to wait 24 hours and then you can retake the test again for free if you do have some kind of an issue. So I'd say, it's kind of a low stress situation. But yeah, the final test is one to watch out for a little bit in this course. Okay, some of the course strengths. They used a whole bunch of interactive demonstrations, kind of mentioning that a moment ago. Some of them were really cool. Some of them thought would maybe be better served by just using a straightforward video with some audio or something. But they had some really neat interactive demos where you kind of had like a mock JIRA screen set up, and you would pick through adding in a comment or description or something to a ticket. So I thought that was pretty neat. They had cue cards with a lot of the terms that you needed to learn. So you'd have the term on one side of the cue card, the definition on the other, to help you memorize things for the test and to know the important terms when you're using JIRA. So I thought that was really good too. There were sample quizzes throughout. I mentioned that earlier. They were a bit easy, but they were helpful in preparing for the test at the end of this course. Another strength. Okay, so this course is free. I kept saying this throughout. Like, don't complain too much. If this interests you, go give it a try. It's free. There's no problem. JIRA is free to try out too, so you can try the software. It's also free if you want to give it a whirl. See what you think of it. And another strength is you get a badge or certificate for completing the course. So that might be important to you. That might be important to a recruiter. You never know. And I'm going to move on here. So who do I think this course is for? I would say the ideal candidate for this course is someone who doesn't know a lot about JIRA, doesn't know a lot about project management, doesn't know a lot about Agile, kind of green, new to everything. You would get a lot out of this, and it's a free course. It's 90 minutes of education. You'll learn a little bit about each of those areas. You'll learn a bit about JIRA, a bit about Agile, and a little bit about project management. So I think that would be really valuable for some people. In my case, I already knew kind of about Agile and project management, so some parts where I was like, yeah, yada yada yada. Let's get on with it. Could be useful for an organization if you needed to train people on their first day of work about how to use JIRA. You could maybe make them take this. It's free, so keep someone busy for a couple hours, and they would hopefully learn something useful. If you need to demonstrate that you have some ability with JIRA without actually having any formal work experience, this is a way to go. You get a certification from it. So, and you do some tests, you do some exercises, you learn a bit about it. It's not super complicated, but it can be good to show that you've demonstrated it. If you need a certification, if you're dealing with an employer who thinks that certifications are really important, if there's a recruiter that cares about that kind of thing a lot, then this is an easy way to get a JIRA certification. Only takes a couple hours, isn't too difficult. And then kind of the opposite of who is this course for with the last point. So if you have significant amounts of JIRA experience, and significance kind of a vague term. I would say if you put a couple months in somewhere, uh, completing tickets and doing that kind of thing, you probably know more than what's in this course. And you do have the option of just skipping and taking the exam if you want, and then by doing that, you might just get the certificate if that's the important part, or you can just skip it altogether. Jira is not super hard to learn, so if you have a couple months with it already, this probably wouldn't be a necessary course. Okay, so in conclusion, I don't have a ton of experience with Jira, so I'm glad that I took the course. I think it was good for me. I think it would be good for a lot of other people, especially if you're new to project management or if you're new to agile. Like, it's all important stuff to have some level of understanding about, and Jira is fairly popular, so if you're trying to land your first job, getting this kind of certificate might not be a bad idea. So with that being said, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Take care. Have a great day.